You've saved diligently, you've planned meticulously, and now you're ready for your early retirement. You've worked your entire life to get to this moment, but now there are hidden challenges around the corner. What are they? Can you actually make it through retirement, living the retirement that you want to live? We always talk about when you get to retirement, you don't want to just live at your means. You want to be able to live beyond your means, live comfortably in retirement. We're going to get into the various challenges that arise for those who choose to retire early. Before we get into that, my name is Tyler Nowotny. I am a financial advisor. I have been in this industry for 8 going on 9 years. If you're interested in more videos, or if you like the video, be sure to like and subscribe. If you're interested in a free consultation, click the link in the description. Now, when we talk about early retirement, what does that mean? It's a pretty vague term. It can mean a lot of different things. Is that retiring at 62? Is it retiring at 55? What does early retirement mean? It can mean a variety of things to different people. So, because everybody has their own unique situation. 3 people may say that one word, early retirement, and they may mean different things by it. The first challenge really applies to anyone who is retiring before age 65. Why is that? That is Medicare age. One of the common pitfalls we see is people who financially appear to be in the position to retire early, but they don't take this thing into account, which is Medicare. Because let's say someone who retires at 63 may be old enough to get early Social Security, but not old enough to get Medicare. Paying for your own healthcare expenses can be a major expense. It's something a lot of people don't take into account. A large percentage of our clients are state employees across a variety of different states, and most states in the country, they don't let you keep your healthcare when you retire. So you have 2 scenarios where people either retire early and are spending a significant amount of their retirement on healthcare, or they keep working just to have healthcare until they can get Medicare, because you can't get Medicare until you are age 65. So that could be a potential issue. Now, what are the potential pitfalls? Well, really depends on how you are getting your income in retirement. If your income is low enough, you can go into the healthcare exchange and get healthcare and probably not pay too much. So I have clients who've, most of the money they're pulling during the early years, they're pulling just from their bank account, so they don't technically have any income. Because of that, they can go into the healthcare exchange, get some healthcare there, and not pay that much. However, that really only applies until they're getting Social Security. So that means it depends on if they take it earliest possible Social Security date, that would be age 62. Then they're likely going to be showing some amount of income. The healthcare they're getting would still be lower, but it would raise in price from before. So that's challenge number 1. If you have a pension income, maybe you've got a part-time job, some would argue that's not really retirement, but let's say you've got a pension income. Well, if your income is beyond a certain point, you're not going to be able to get that lower healthcare. And boom, that healthcare now that you used to have covered through your work, it was subsidized to a degree, now that is going to go up in cost until you get to age 65. Well, if you're retiring at 55, one of the earlier levels of early retirement, that's 10 years of you having to fund those healthcare expenses. That can be a pretty big deal. So it's important to really understand when you're crafting your plan, okay, I'm retiring at 57. Do I have the money? How much am I going to have to pay in healthcare? And do I have the funds to be able to pay that as well? Challenge number 2 is just from a pure income standpoint, especially if you're retiring at age 55, you can't take early Social Security until age 62. Now, mind you, early Social Security, if you choose to take that, is a discount over what you would receive assuming you wait until age 67. When most people say that, they are referring to the full retirement age, which is age 67. That's where you get that baseline Social Security amount every month. If you choose to take it at age 62, you only get 70% of that baseline amount that you would have received each month at age 67. So by taking it early, you get a lesser amount for the rest of your life. Now, does that mean it's a bad thing? No, of course not. It's just important to understand this as you're entering this journey. Because let's say if you retire at 62, we already talked about you're not going to be Medicare age. So you're going to have to be paying for healthcare out of your own pocket. And then you're getting that Social Security, but that Social Security is going to be less than if you would have waited a little while. Yes, Social Security does adjust for inflation every year, but it's still not close to the amount you'd receive if you take it at age 67 or any age higher than age 62. When you're putting this all together, that's one of the important things you have to understand. The other aspect is this. Let's say you retire at age 55. You're not getting Medicare, you're not getting Social Security. So at 55, you're probably funding that first 7 to 10 years yourself. So you're either pulling that out of your bank account or, here's the problem, you can't pull it out of your IRA until you're age 59 and a half. If you've got an IRA, you can't pull that out unless you're 59 and a half. Now, if you've got a 401k, there are some rules that do allow you to take that actually at 55 without that 10% penalty. Any money you pull out of that, not only is it being taxed, you're also going to be paying an extra 10% penalty to the government for accessing your own money. Crazy, right? So if you want to retire early, in this example, we're talking about 55 or before 59 and a half, you're not going to have Social Security coming in. You're not going to have Medicare. So you're going to have to pay for your own health care, and you're going to have to be funding this either through a pension or your own bank account. Some of you may be watching and saying, oh, that's doable. I'm going to be able to do that. Here's the wrinkle. If you are pulling the money out of your own bank account now, that's 10 extra years or 7 extra years if you're taking Social Security at 62. By the time you get to age 62, you've already been pulling money out of your bank account for 7 years to fund your retirement. What is your situation going to look like when you finally get to the Social Security age? You may not have any money left because you've been pulling off your own bank account so much, there's really not much left. I've seen situations like this. Joe and Jane retired at age 55, had about $500,000 in their account, and I met with them when they were 61, approaching Social Security age, but they've been pulling $50,000 a year. How is that going to last? So now you're going to get to retirement age, by the government standard, age 62. Yeah, it's great. You're going to have your Social Security now, but you're not going to have any money left. So what's the right option in that situation? Many of you, I'm sure, will have pensions, because if you have a pension, that changes things a lot. If you've got a pension, all of a sudden, you've got that steady income stream coming in. The Social Security may not be as important. The Medicare situation obviously still is. But if you don't have a pension and you've got your money in your bank account, you get your 401ks or IRAs that you potentially can't touch, now all of a sudden you're withdrawing that money. What's the proper way to do that? Are you just letting it sit in your bank account? Well, if you're letting it sit in your bank account, there's the inflation angle where all of a sudden if we're at inflation of 4 or 5%, your money's getting you zero. Well, guess what? Congratulations. You're losing money every year. But then there's also the flip side. What happens if you're investing that money in the stock market and we have a year like 08 where you're down 40% and you're pulling from it? It's not a good situation either. That's why it's really important to have a thorough analysis done to really understand exactly what is my plan. How am I going to approach this to ensure I'm putting myself in the best position possible rather than just flying by the seat of my pants. Looks good on paper. There's a lot of things that look good on paper that turn out to not actually be good in reality. So before I get into the last challenge, if you like what you've seen, if you have any questions, make sure to like and subscribe. I have some questions that need to get answered. Make sure to click the link in the description and schedule a free complimentary consultation with one of our advisors. Now, the last challenge, not necessarily a challenge that has anything to do with finances. It's more so a challenge of identity. You may have worked your whole life in one industry, and by the end, you may have said, I can't wait to get out of this place. But you've still tied your identity to that one thing. Oh, I'm a teacher. I'm a nurse. oh, I'm an engineer. Well, once you hit that retirement, you're not working anymore. You're no longer that. And a lot of people, that drives them into somewhat of a depression. So I've found it's very important that you have something when you get into retirement that becomes your identity. That could be a hobby. That could be something you're hoping to do in retirement. Go on, see 5 continents. I want to go to Asia. I want to go to Europe. I want to take part in XYZ activity. I want to volunteer at the food bank. Something that kind of keeps you going and gets you up every morning, as opposed to just, I'm in retirement. What do I do now? Because what's the point of solving for these first 3 problems if we get to the last problem and it's all for naught and you're in a bad state mentally, or you're just kind of looking for that purpose? So those are really the main challenges we see with people who choose to retire early. We've got a ton of stories about that. Make sure to like and subscribe. And if you have any comments, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this video or your personal situation. And we'll see you then. Have a good rest of your day.